We're bringing On Cinema at the Cinema to the cinema here in Victorville, California.
I love this movie.
Movie expertise, opinions, the classics.
Who won the box office this week?
It's season 8 of Tim Heidecker's On Cinema at the Cinema.
Hello, welcome to another episode of a new season of On Cinema at the Cinema with your host Tim Heidecker here at for season 8, and my guest is Greg Turkington.
Hey guys, good to be back with some very important news that Tim will fill you in on. This is a very different season of On Cinema at the Cinema.
Yeah, so we can tell we're at a new space here. This is an actual cinema that we have relocated the On Cinema at the Cinema experience to Victorville because of some issues I'm having with people that let us shoot the previous seasons.
And it's near the archives, which gives us access to the
thought. And so it's different. We're out here in Victorville now, and that's been a different change of style for me.
It's kind of the new Hollywood, they're saying. There's a lot of movies being produced in Victorville, and of course the history of the city is it's always been a movie city, so it makes sense for us to have not only the archive, but our filming location here. We're going to open the doors and start showing movies, as well as using it to film future seasons of On Cinema at the Cinema.
And thanks to the Tom Cruise Memorial Arts Fund, we were able to lease this property. It was an abandoned theater and was sort of rotting away here in the desert. And this has been the big announcement that I'm now primary, the Tom Cruise Arts Foundation is now a primary investor in the Victorville Film Center, curated by Greg Turkington here.
Starting next week, we're going to be showing one movie a night at 7 p.m. and then hopefully by the end of the summer we'll be up to 2 or 3 movies a night, all coming straight out of my archive. So a lot of popcorn classics will be on the screen. It's the best of all worlds, and of course the work at the archives, which is just a mile and a half away, that work still continues, and we're building up a bigger collection than has ever been seen.
Thanks to Tom Cruise Jr., wherever he is, that he's shining down on us and leading us towards a brighter future and encouraging the arts. Also to my thanks to my wife's Ayaka's father, who has also put in some significant funding towards the expansion and the success of the Victorville Film Center. My only request to you as the director is to get working on fixing the air conditioning, because it's about 125 degrees in here. And I know that you're working on that.
Somebody stole the copper wire. This was boarded up for years, and I would walk by this place on my way to the supermarket, and I would say, wow, that could be a really great theater if only we had the resources to make it happen. And so this is kind of a dream come true to actually see it opened up, thanks to the Arts Foundation and, of course, Ayaka's father.
Very exciting to be this new season. Thanks for checking in. Thanks for checking out Decker Unclassified. It's been a tremendous season. The season finale begins this Friday, so check out the season finale of Decker Unclassified. And I think you'll enjoy what you see. It's been a lot of fun putting that show out. It's been the #1 show right now on cable and on network TV. So we are excited about that.
Season 4 was the lucky season, and I'm very proud of our ratings.
And we have some good movies to talk about today.
Some movies.
Yes. Still, by the way, a couple more updates. Dakar is still hard at work on our big LP. We're going to be finishing the record over the next few months. I'm in that writing process now where I'm trying to access song ideas. So if anybody has any song ideas, let us know.
We should do a jingle for the new theater.
I'm not going to be doing jingles, at all.
Just something we could use as radio ads locally to get people to know that this theater is operating.
Star Trek Beyond. Beyond what? Did we get this cut off?
That's the title.
All right. Just directed by Justin Lin, cast starring Chris Pine, Idris Elba, Sofia Boutella, Zoe Saldana. The Enterprise crew explores the furthest reaches of space where they encounter a mysterious enemy who puts everything the Federation stands for to the test. This is a Star Trek movie, one of my favorite series, franchise series that has come out besides Star Wars. It's really interesting to see them take the story to new heights and go where no man has gone before. I give it 6 bags of popcorn and a cup of cold soda.
Yeah, this is an interesting Star Trek movie in that it was directed by the guy that made The Fast and the Furious. And there's going to be some Trek heads out there that are going to say, that's a little bit too much like The Fast and Furious, but in outer space with spaceships. And that's true, but I actually think this is the best Star Trek movie since Star Trek II, which was set in San Francisco. I really love this movie. It's great to see the gang back. I'm going to give it 5 bags of popcorn and a Klingon cola. How about that?
Whatever that is. Well, next up we have Hillary's America, starring Hillary Clinton. Yuck. She's sour to look at. Usually I would hate to see her in a movie, but this is an expose of her. And Hillary's America, The Secret History of the Democratic Party, stars Hillary Clinton, Dinesh Soja, and cast starring Dinesh and Elizabeth Jackson and Artie Mazzoni. And this is a documentary film, a story about a warning sign. It's a clarion call. It's actually the canary in the coal mine letting us know that there is a chance of the end of the American experience. The country itself is under collapse, and we are at risk of a complete takeover by the Hillary people who are in charge of Hillary Clinton. This is one of my favorite movies of the year. I think it will win the Best Picture. A bombshell movie that's going to expose Hillary Clinton for the fraud that she is, the criminal she is. She belongs in prison, in my opinion. She has broken every commandment, every law.
Well, just discuss the movie.
And it's my opportunity to speak my mind.
We already had that earlier with a soapbox, with a 60-minute soapbox, and now people want to know about the movies.
Well, there's no question about it that she deserves life term in prison, if not more. And by more, I mean execution for treason. They should all be strung up, and everybody.
Wow. Now you're going to get our theater shut down.
No, I'm formally requesting the United States government try Hillary Clinton and her husbands to stand trial and be executed. And that is an official request on behalf of a true American patriot myself. And let me say this. I believe, and I think we can start a movement here easily, we should pass a law in all 50 states that you're not allowed to vote unless you've seen this movie. It's not much to ask. And I think we would see how that would affect the polls. Then you'll at least be educated, so when you vote, you know who you're voting for. So of course, I give it 6 bags, and I give it all the cups of soda in the world, and value the ability to get that, because in Hillary's America, you're not going to be able to even get soda anymore.
Well, I like your idea to promote film going as a new theater manager. I think it's a cool idea. I was skeptical of this movie when you told me we were reviewing it. I thought, oh boy, another documentary. To me, that's not a real movie. I was very surprised in that this movie is only partially a documentary. A lot of it are recreated scenes using actors, and they're very good actors, and it has a lot of action and intrigue and suspense. I think you have to approach it as sort of a popcorn movie and not get bogged down in the politics, which to me isn't very interesting. But there actually are some real chills and thrills in this thing, and strictly from that point of view, I really enjoyed it.
How do you sleep at night knowing what the truth is and then ignoring it?
Well, I don't know if it's true or not. From the point of view of somebody that loves, thrillers like The French Connection, All the President's Men, those sorts of political espionage, intrigue movies. I thought it fit very well with those. The parts that didn't work for me were the parts that use old news footage and that sort of thing that doesn't really belong on the silver screen. If I want to watch the news, I'll turn on the TV.
What's your review?
I'm going to give it 5 bags of popcorn and a little pair of scissors so they can cut out all those news sequences and stick with the action scenes.
Okay. Doesn't seem like you liked it the way I did.
Well,
be an idiot and miss this one. This is the most important movie of the year. Don't bother seeing Star Trek if you can only see one movie. Make it Hillary's America. It'll scare the shit out of you. Thank you for watching, and we'll see you next time at the movies. Hold on. Oh, sorry. One other announcement. People have been wanted to let everyone know, wish me well and my wife Ayaka well. The Lord has blessed us and Ayaka and me with the chance to try again, and we have another one on the way. So that's
Another.
we are expecting. We're having another child. My Ayaka is with child, pregnant. Wasn't not planned, but. We have that coming up. That's going on with me. Thank you. So I
Are
just
you
found
gonna
out.
have the baby here in Victorville? It's not gonna
No.
work.
This has been on everyone's mind. I do want to make an official announcement right now. And this is coming from my heart, and I want to get this out there so you guys can talk about it and get online and even engage in this conversation because it's an important one, I think. You can call this a 60-second soapbox if you want, but I, Tim Heidecker, host of On Cinema, lead singer and bassist of Dakar, and executive producer of the hit show Decker, do solemnly endorse the presidency of Donald J. Trump. He is the leadership of which we need to command our country back to a position of strength through leadership. His business experience of treating our country like a CEO would, in terms of strength through experience, is needed now more than ever because of the times we are living in. Face many challenges, but must look forward towards a strong man. We must look forward towards a strong man.
Just put this on the website.
Hold
and
on.
People can read
Let me
it.
Get through this. It's important. Look forward towards a strong man, as Donald J. Trump is. It comes. We must elect him and protect our country from the dangerous forces of Hillary and another term of Obama. He will make our border safe through the building of the wall and get our working country back in shape. I will do whatever I can to help support my leader. My hero is in you, my hero is in you. Thank you for giving us life, giving your life to the public as you sacrifice so much. You could be sitting in, this is to Donald Trump. We kneel before you and
It's way past 60 seconds at this point.
yes,
so.
this is it here. We kneel before you and thank you for giving your life to the public as you sacrifice so much. You could be sitting on the yacht with your beautiful wife, drinking champagne and having the time of your life, but you choose to fight for people, for us, the last remaining people who even matter.
Welcome to the movies!
This is a great movie. You're not going to regret it.
We're here in Victorville, California, future movie capital of the world. Home of the Victorville Film Archives.
Who won the box office this week?
Celebrating 8 years of On Cinema at the Cinema, it's Tim Heidecker's On Cinema at the Cinema.
Hey everybody, welcome back to another episode of On Cinema at the Cinema. I'm your host, Tim Heidecker, and I'm joined again by my co-host, Greg Turkington here.
Hey guys, good to be here in Victorville.
We're back here at the Victorville Film Archives, or Film Center.
Film Center, two very different organizations, both with the same common goal, which is to promote movies.
Well, I'm begging you now, on behalf of me and my family and everybody, get the air conditioning fixed, because it's very warm in here.
It's a lot more expensive than we anticipated to get a system that doesn't have sound that overwhelms the screenings.
Well, for at least these shootings, the temperature today driving in from Hollywood was 126 degrees out here.
Well, I mean, it's hot in Hollywood too, so
Not
it's just
anything
it's a
like
hot
this.
spell.
Not anything like this. By the way, thanks again for watching the season finale of Decker Unclassified. I appreciate all the wonderful reviews we got, and it was really a pleasure to be able to do that. We're going to make more for sure. And yeah, it was neat to get to work with James Dean, I'll admit it. You know, he was consummate professional.
He's a cool guy. He's got good stories too.
Yeah, and I'm glad we were able to mix sort of the real world with the fantasy world and playing.
As in Decker versus Dracula.
Well, what I was able to do was hone that idea and make it work for the inside the Decker universe. Because what you had done was sort of disrespectful of the Decker characters.
No.
But I made it seamlessly work, and we learned from our mistakes, and I think you learned from that mistake, and I learned certainly from your mistakes.
You learned from my triumphs and took the ideas for your own triumphs, but that's okay. I'm happy to have been a part of it, and I know the fans really enjoyed seeing sort of the unofficial conclusion to the Decker versus Dracula.
Well, the two things have nothing to do with each other. As stated in the episode, when Dracula sees President Davidson, he says the line, and this is important, he says, "I've never met a president before."
So nice to meet you. I have never met the president before.
Dracula! And folks, that's irrefutable proof. I'd like to see anybody question how the logic could possibly work.
Because the character of Dracula has always been a little bit unreliable when it comes to the facts.
Well,
So
no, I think the case is closed.
he might say something.
Do you want
like
to talk
that.
about movies today, or do you want to keep going on about this?
Yeah, let's talk about some new movies.
All right, we are starting with the great one, Mr. Woody Allen, coming back out with another movie. Cafe Society, starring Steve Carell, Jamie Lynn Lee, Cheryl Lee is her name, Todd Weeks, and as
Ensemble
and
cast.
Woody himself, I would assume, is in this. Set in the 1930s, a Bronx native moves to Hollywood, where he falls in love with his secret agent to the stars. That sounds like Decker. Interesting. So, I'm sorry, secretary of an agent to the stars. It's not, okay. Returning to New York, he is swept up in the vibrant world of high society nightclub life. So this is sort of two movies in one.
It's always like that with Woody, though, in that they're very funny movies, but they often make a very serious point.
Now this is his 100th movie, I believe. And he puts out a movie every a couple movies a year, and this one is as good as any others, don't you think? I mean, this was sort of his best movie yet to date, and I predict Oscars for him as director.
He has enough already, but he'll always take more.
I was going to ask you, this is interesting. By the way, I give it 5 bags of popcorn and a cup of soda. I was going to ask you if you know offhand, we could look this up, how many Oscars he's won. It must be in the hundreds.
They don't count them anymore. They measure it by the weight. You know what I'm saying? Let me put it this way. Woody Allen's house is sinking into the ground under the weight of all that Oscar gold.
Well, Oscar loves Woody, and they keep rewarding him with awards, and he's well-deserved because not only are his movies funny, but they're profound, and they're well performed by the actors.
Always a great cast with Woody Allen.
And that's no exception here.
If you ever wanted to get out of directing, he could get into casting because he does a great job with it.
Yes, and this is an original movie, too. This is not a remake or a reboot of anything. This is basically a new tale from the Woodster, and
It's a love letter to movies. If you like Clark Gable, if you like the old 30s Hollywood and you want to return there, but see it in color now, because if you see old movies from that time period, they're going to be in black and white. This is the best of both worlds. It's truly a special movie, and I do give it 5 bags of popcorn and 500 wheelbarrows to carry all Woody's Oscars from one home to the
You
next.
wouldn't be able to do the graphic of 500 wheelbarrows if you want to put something else.
All right, 5 bags of popcorn and 5 wheelbarrows to wheelbarrow.
That's fine.
Just a small portion of his Oscar collection from room to
More
room.
Oscar gold in Woody's world than there is in Fort Knox, actually. Pretty interesting. Finally, today we have Jason Bourne, directed by Paul Greengrass, starring Matt Damon, Alicia Vikander, Julia Stiles, and Tommy Lee Jones, one of my favorites. Jason Bourne, now remembering who he truly is, tries to uncover hidden truths about his past. Now, I think it's kind of interesting that the whole spy genre had kind of fallen by the wayside until we launched the Heidecker series, and now it's suddenly become topic du jour. It's basically, you wouldn't be surprised if every movie now has some sort of nod to Heidecker.
Well, Bond never slowed down. That was always going.
This one didn't have the chills and thrills that I was looking for in a movie, and I found it very confusing, and I didn't understand what was going on from moment to moment with the movie.
Did you see the other ones?
Well, no, I think this one was about as confusing as I could imagine a movie ever being, but I still did have fun looking at it, and it did have a car crash in it, which I thought was neat, and there was the element of surprise, because being confused is often very similar to being surprised. You're surprised at not knowing what's going on. I felt like I was watching a movie in another language because of how confused I was. But whenever the guns were shooting and the bombs were going off and the cars were driving around, that was always interesting to me. So I do give it 5 bags of popcorn, but no sodas this time. Work on maybe providing some kind of info sheet at the beginning or some sort of...
We'll just watch the other one, The Bourne Ultimatum. You know, I'm a little confused too, but for different reasons than you are. I'm confused why when you have a movie, The Bourne Identity, then you follow it with The Bourne Legacy, then you follow it with The Bourne Ultimatum. These are titles that are in a good alphabetical order so that when you're filing your tapes in your collection, they go side by side. This movie is called Jason Bourne, so it's not even going to be in the same room as the others that start with B. I mean, clearly the challenge was to come up with a title that falls after Bourne Ultimatum. I think that they should have called it The Bourne Victory or The Bourne Witness. Both of those would work with the plot as it was in the movie. I think they should re-release this movie with a new title. Again, The Bourne Victory seems like the most natural one, and I think you'll see the box office explode if they do that.
How many bags?
I'm going to give it 5 bags of popcorn because it is an excellent movie once you get past the shenanigans with the title. And then I'm going to throw in a little capsule. It's not a suicide capsule like you might see in one of these Bourne movies. It's an advice capsule, and you unscrew it, and there's a little memo in it that says, call your next movie The Bourne Victory.
Okay. All right, we have a special guest we'd like to bring out right now who's going to talk about some new exciting advancements. And
Who's the guest?
come out. It's Dr. San, and he's...
Hey, you guys.
Can you move over? So I don't want him sitting here. We can move.
He can sit here.
No, just
and
get up.
I'll move over, but he can sit next to you.
All right, welcome to the show. Welcome to
Thanks.
Victorville. Did you have a hard time coming out here?
No, it wasn't that bad.
Terrific. So I wanted to talk to you because this doctor has got me on. I was talking to you last week about the challenges we were having writing the record and coming up with the creativity that's required to deliver 7 extra songs. And Dr. San turned me on to this amazing nutritional vape technology. Now this is something you are in partnership with or developing. And this right here has changed the game for me. I'll show you how it works. It's just, look at that. Look at that. That is not only creatively stimulating, but it's providing me with nutritional basics, basically.
Tim,
So
this was supposed to be a Popcorn Classics segment on the call sheet that I have.
we're getting to that after this segment. But
Okay.
I just want to share, speaking of popcorn, this nutritional vape system that you've invented now replaces my meals, and I'm not required to no longer eat because the vape liquids in here actually provide on a molecular level the nutrition that I need, and then my body and blood gets to absorb it. And so I basically haven't had a bite to eat in 6 days. I've just been using this.
Yeah, when you eat, your body requires a lot of energy to digest the food that you eat. And with the vaping, it just goes directly into your system.
And this is pure nutrition. And for example, that would be like having a snack.
But what's wrong with digestion?
Well, don't you feel tired sometimes after a big meal?
Yeah.
That's like a turkey dinner.
And you haven't felt any fatigue or feeling tired like you do after a big meal, right?
No, absolutely.
Yeah.
I have more energy than I've ever had before. There's a psychoactive element in this, which is creating creativity and giving me the ability to write lyrics and music. And what is this? You know, it's like 21st century technology is sort of hacking the actual biosystem. Is that what you were saying to me?
Yeah, well, I tweaked a traditional Chinese formula that was I put some dongchang xiaocao into it, which is a mushroom
I've lost like 15 pounds too.
Yeah.
From when?
Yeah, past like 72 hours.
And the Ma Huang really opens up your lungs and will enable you to sing with your maximum potential.
So my singing's improved, and I wrote a lyric the other day, song lyrics, seven or eight pages of lyrics for a song. And that's like going to be a long song, but I mean, everything rhymes in it, and it's really actually a good song. It's a drone kind of song, so it's only one chord.
Yeah, you just want to make sure that you drink water too while you're vaping because there's not as much fluid in it.
I could see getting hooked on this too because
It's not
it has-
addictive.
no, I know it's not addictive. It's not what I'm trying to say. I'm saying is this stimulates so much. If I didn't have it, I feel like I'd turn into like a zombie or something. But so I'm addicted to this, not in a literal medical sense, but I don't think I could live without it. And it's very convenient, and it actually has the time on it. Well, that's the temperature or the watts.
And is this FDA approved?
You know, things take so long when you include all of the bureaucracy, so we might as well.
Like it has that
we don't
immediate
wanna wait for
buzz.
them.
There's an immediate buzz that's very intense, almost a pain. But that fades very quickly, and then sudden positivity and energy come flying through my brain at a very exciting, rapid pace. And I'm almost picturing a six-dimensionality of, common sense, human sense, spiritual sense, as you were saying to me yesterday as we were meditating. And he got me on a meditation zone perspective from using nutritional vape technology that I can access. It's almost like having a key, like your Kingston character, Greg, from Decker, that you can unlock the codes
that's
of
from
brain
training.
technology.
Kington does that from training, military training, not from drugs.
I'm full. It's like I just had a big box of Oreo cookies or something. I feel full and almost sick from it. But it does have a neat flavor to it, too. It tastes like watermelons and grape soda. So thank you for this. Dr. Sand's been my guest. We'll be back next week with more On Cinema.
And Popcorn Classic?
And a Popcorn Classic. Here we go. Cut to the Popcorn Classic as we go out.
It's not how you do the Popcorn Classic.
Yeah, it'll be it'll
No,
be
I
sort
have,
of after the credits. We'll roll them after the credits from now on. Thank you so much for coming by.
Sure,
You're going to
yeah.
stay here for a little bit? Because I want to show
I'd like
you
to,
around
yeah.
the neighborhood. Yeah.
Get a bite to eat or something. Well, not you.
Not for me. No. I don't need that. Welcome back, everybody, to another episode of On Cinema at the Cinema. I am your host, Tim Heidecker, and I'm with Greg Turkington.
Hey guys, glad to be back here in Victorville at the Victorville Film Center, where we are shooting this season of On Cinema at the Cinema. Bringing some expert commentary to the world of current cinema.
Yes, and I apologize to you. I was a little late today. It's been a tough couple days in Hollywood for me.
Well, that's why we do things here in Victorville a different way.
My people have been asking me what's going on with Ayaka, and we had a conversation about taking a little bit of a break on having that kid. Now,
What do you mean by that?
I don't want to get into this with you and you about what this means for me, but it's my choice, her choice, to move along without the pregnancy. And I'm asking her to consider that right now. So she went back to Japan to consider that and talk to her family about it, whether or not they can afford it and everything.
So that's why you haven't been by the theater.
No, and I've been on this stuff basically full time. So I've been here Tuesday at the bus
All
station.
this is going to get cut from the episode, so you might as well just stop.
Do you have the thing, the movies?
Yeah.
Starting with Suicide Squad from David Ayers. Margot Robbie, Will Smith, Cara Delevingne, Ben Affleck, Jared Leto. secret government age. This is all Decker crap. This is everyone out there in Hollywood is taking Decker stories. A secret government agency recruits imprisoned supervillains for dangerous black ops missions in exchange for pardoning their crime. You have to get the air conditioning working here. I can't breathe.
Well, it's not the air conditioning, it's the vaping.
Sweating like
that's
a
making
pig.
You sweat.
You're sweating too. You have your face is covered like you just got out of the shower.
You should at least wait until afterward. There's no reason to do that on air.
If this doesn't get into my system, I go to a bad place.
At this point, you're the only customer in the whole world that guy has. Everyone else has either moved on or died.
Suicide Squad, directed by David Ayers. Secret government agency recruits imprisoned supervillains for dangerous black ops. It's got that sort of action adventure that you've come to know from Jared Leto, and he is sort of the best supervillain of all time. But what made me like this movie the most is it made me laugh, and I need a laugh right now because things are not going well. And you know, Ayaka's in Japan right now as she discusses terminating our pregnancy.
Well, she's not going to do that after what happened to Tom.
I think she should. Use protection, my brothers out there, because you don't want to be in this position. I'd rather not have the pregnancy terminated. I'd rather the pregnancy not happen to begin with.
Well, I'm sure she'd rather that she had married somebody else.
Well, what did you think of this Suicide Squad? I wish I had.
I liked it. I mean, it's kind of cool to see Batman and the Joker and some of these superhero characters, but then in a setting that's really more reminiscent of our own Decker, you know. It makes you wonder, I'm not a comic book head, but I would love to see a Decker comic book and then have the movies, future movies of Decker, spring from the pages of the comic book, because that's how a lot of these big studios do it, and it seems to work for them. I would have to say 5 bags of popcorn is a slam dunk rating for this, and I'm going to throw in a pair of handcuffs for Dr. San for doing this once again.
Nine Lives, starring
No, what was your rating for Suicide Squad?
5 bags of popcorn and a cup of soda. Can't read this.
9 Lives, directed by Barry Sonnenfeld, with Kevin Spacey, Robbie Arnell, Jennifer Gardner, and my favorite, Christopher Walken. Stuffy businessman finds himself trapped inside the body of his family's cat.
I'm so tired. I've been trying to sleep at the bus I'm sorry, I'm talking this way. I'm trying not to breathe out of my nose.
Okay, well,
I don't want the ideas from my head to come out of my nose. I want everything to stay inside. I'm trying not to breathe out of my nose because I don't want the ideas from my brain to come out of my nose.
okay.
Suicide Squad.
9 Lives, do you have a rating on this?
It's so hot in here. It's really hot.
This is very reminiscent of the Shaggy DA, the Shaggy Dog. Either one of those movies, I guess you'd say, cross that with Garfield, and you know what 9 Lives is all about. It's a kiddie movie for sure. Any movie where a businessman becomes a cat is probably going to have more interest to children than to adults, but any movie that finally, after all these years, pairs Kevin Spacey and Christopher Walken up so that these guys actually have scenes together is going to be of great interest to the adult movie-going population. And that's why I highly recommend 9 Lives. I wish I could give it 9 bags of popcorn, but I will give it 5 bags of popcorn plus a little catnip toy.
We are on cinema on location.
No, 9 Lives with Kevin Spacey. Did you see that? Do you have a chance to see it?
5 bags of popcorn and
Okay, on to the first segment this season of one of our most all-time beloved segments called On Cinema On Location. If you've been watching On Cinema for many seasons now, you know this is our most popular outside segment. In this segment, we look behind the scenes at motion picture filming that took place in a variety of locations. One season we did it with Oh God, which is one of my favorites. This year, we're going to be looking not at films made in Hollywood, but films made right here in Victorville, California. Let's roll the tape.
Victorville, California. Every street has a story, and these are but just a few on Cinema, on Location. Hey guys, Greg Turkington from On Cinema at the Cinema On Location, and we're here in Victorville, California, in front of the sign that says 6th Street, as seen in 2015's movie Broken Horses. If you've seen the movie, you might remember a scene that was filmed exactly where I'm standing in front of this old movie theater. Victorville's got quite a few old movie theaters, and of course is home to one of the world's #1 film archives, the Victorville Film Archive. So there it is. Of course, if you've seen the movie, there's a ticket booth right there that's not there anymore. Back to you, Tim.
Okay, another On Cinema, at the Cinema On Location with a little bit of a twist, and we will be seeing a lot more of those as the season progresses. All right, just shut it down. We'll be back next week with more movie reviews. You can't come in like this and do this on the show.
I'm sorry. I'm really sorry.
You know, I'm bringing new professionalism to it this season, and for you to come in
I can't go.
sweaty.
I can't go back.
I mean, I can host the show myself.
I don't want to do this anymore.
Oh, good, because this stuff will get you nowhere. All right, I'm gonna call Axe here. Come on.
Hello, my name is Tim Heidecker. I am the host of On Cinema at the Cinema. And as some of you know, I made a fool of myself here on this very broadcast last week. It has been a very, very challenging couple of weeks for me and my family. And the last thing I ever wanted to do was bring you, the On Cinema family, into it. A few weeks ago, I was introduced to a nutritional system through the Dr. San, which I was led to believe was going to inspire creativity and was going to give me a healthier life. What it actually did, in fact, was cause me a tremendous amount of trouble, made me make some very, very bad decisions, which led to my wife leaving me and moving back to Japan permanently. And it led me to hurt you, my friend. It led me to do some terrible things to my band, Dakar.
You didn't review the movies?
And I told you I'm going to have this opportunity to explain myself. I went to after last week's taping, I went to the clinic and had my blood tested. And the doctor came in with his mouth wide open. He said he couldn't believe the substances that were in my body and the levels by which they were at in my body. There were high levels of speed, synthetic marijuana, synthetic cocaine, PCH, some PCH 911 or something like that. He said I would have been dead if I had not come in. Now let that sink in.
What are the movies this week?
But I'm wearing the Dakar shirt today to let you know that I am fully committed to my band, Dakar. I'm committed to my health. I'm committed to being creative and providing movie expertise through my guest, Greg Turkington, who's my guest today, by the way.
I wish you were wearing an On Cinema at the Cinema shirt to show the commitment to that.
We don't have those.
I gave
and
you one.
I'm trying to thank you here. I want to thank you for being supportive. I'm committing myself to the Victorville experience. I'm here now full time. I've gotten myself away from Dr. San. Greg here is letting me stay at the Victorville Film Archive, which has been very generous of you to let me crash there as I rebuild. And I am so lucky to have this second chance. I really am.
Well, let's review some movies.
And stay away from nutritional vaping. I mean, this has been just, first of all, to be able to have a cheeseburger, and I had pizza, and I had ice cream.
I had popcorn up there,
and
too.
Popcorn, and after not eating for almost 2
Mark's
weeks.
been popping up a good batch today, and
And-
lately he's been getting very good at it.
Yeah, and the air conditioning's fixed, so
Air
we're all,
conditioning's fixed, which
it's a
you
great
know,
day.
I have to apologize to you for that. I was so busy working on our calendar and our programming for September.
And it's been a good couple of days. I'm on the road. I mean, I'm just beginning on the road, which is interesting to be able to say I've chosen a new path. And with your help, I am just happy to be alive. So, Pete's Dragon, directed by David Lowery, starring Bryce Dallas Howard, Keith Urban, Robert Redford.
Sundance
Carl
Kid.
Urban.
The Sundance Kid. they
Yes,
call
our
it.
Robert Redford.
Butch
The-
Cassidy and the Sundance
All right.
Kid.
The adventures of an orphan boy named Pete and his best friend Elliot, who just so happens to be a dragon. Now, this was one of my favorite movies of the year so far. It's for kids of all ages.
Not so fast. The movie was actually filmed in New Zealand, and it's about a dragon. I wouldn't call it an unofficial sequel to The Hobbit and The Lord of the Rings, but definitely in the same wheelhouse. If you like those types of movies and those types of characters, unlike the original 1977 Pete's Dragon, which was not filmed in New Zealand, this one was. And so I think it's of great interest until the next Tolkien trilogy starts. This will fit the bill.
I'm happy to know you. I'm happy to call you a friend too, because you know so much about movies, and getting to be around you is pretty cool.
And this one was a remake of a film from 1977. In 1977, they didn't have the technology, the CGI technology, to make a film that would end up being timeless. And this Pete's Dragon 2016 has all the hallmarks of a film that will be timeless. And
Well,
I give it 5 bags of popcorn.
I loved it, and I give it 5 bags of popcorn too, and I love you. I love you for being
Well,
there.
I love that you put me in this position here in Victorville to run this theater, and we
Hey,
just
hey,
finished
hey,
the.
I want to tell you. I want to look me in the eyes. Look me in the eyes. I want to tell you something. Your heart's beating like crazy. Here, look at me. Look at
I
me.
looked at you plenty last week.
Come here. Look me in the eyes. Look me in the eyes. I want to tell you. I love you.
I mean, I'm glad to hear it, because what
not
we're
looking
doing here in Victorville, I think.
All right. Well, you're a good guy. He's a good guy. He's a real.
Well, thanks. No,
Salt of the
I'm
earth.
glad that you put that stuff in the past, and you can focus on movies and focus on this great theater that we've built together. You got to see what we got coming in September. I think you're going to be spending a lot more time in Victorville.
Well, I love Dakar. I love Axiom and Manuel, Vinny and Nick. I love you guys if you're watching. I love Greg, and I even love Ayaka, even though she's not speaking with me.
And
I'm really
I
happy
think
to be
you'll love
alive.
the child. That
see
that
where
was
that
sad.
goes.
That was so sad. And again, Dr. San was at the center of that whole mess with what happened to your last child. But with him in our rearview mirror, I think we can move forward. I
All right.
think Ayaka will be happy to hear that Dr. San is out of your life.
Well, I got you. I got your eyes here, so I love you. All right. Next, we have Sausage Party, directed by Greg Tiernan.
I didn't direct this one.
No. Greg Tiernan and Conrad Vernon. Directed by, starring James Franco, Kristen Wiig, Paul Rudd, Seth Rogen,
Ant-Man.
and Edward Norton. An animated movie, and we know that, about one sausage's quest to discover the truth about existence. Another kids movie. It does have those sort of subtle jokes that are playing pretty good with adults. You know, you don't have to be a kid to. I love this movie. I give it 5 bags of popcorn and 2 sodas. And they do use the F-U-C-K words and the C-U-N-T I heard a few times, B-I-T-H and S-H-I-T. These are all words used in the movie, but so that makes it kind of interesting.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think this is for kids of all ages. I think this is more for older teenagers, maybe from 13 up to 19, and then everyone past that age as well. The weird thing is that the sausages as characters to me weren't as compelling as the baby carrots, because it takes place in a supermarket. And these baby carrots are just so funny, and the voices that they use and the things that the baby carrots do, they're so much better than the sausages. And I feel like they sort of missed an opportunity to showcase a much better group of characters. But, you know, hey, maybe that's a sequel down the pike, Baby Carrots. Or
I love
Sausage Party 2, Sausages versus Carrots, or something like that would be good.
Well, I love raunch, and this is some of my favorite raunch of the year. And I think kids can handle raunch. I think there's so much nasty crap going on in the world right now, and people are so abusive, and there is so much abuse, drug abuse in particular. But if a kid sees the C-U-N-T word or hears people saying F-U-C-K, it's not going to necessarily ruin their lives. It's almost exposing them to the raunch that exists in the world.
Well, the Bad News Bears had lots of those kind of words in it back in 1977, and that was a great movie. That's a classic with Walter Matthau.
And it
Tatum O'Neal.
it made me laugh, and I needed a laugh after what I had been through. I mean, last week we talked about the Suicide Squad, and that's where I was at, basically. I was at the 6th Street Bridge. I didn't tell you this. This is kind of breaking news.
We have the Rainbow Bridge in Victorville.
Yeah, well, I was at the 6th Street Bridge and was going to jump. And a police officer showed up and grabbed
Sounds
me.
like It's a Wonderful Life with James Stewart, 1939. Same plot, exactly.
Definitely had echoes of that. This is a much more real situation, though. That really did happen to me last week.
And the movie's very realistic, and it's also really great.
Yep. So, what else do we have?
We're going to take a look at another On Cinema On Location segment. This is a series that I've been filming in my spare time, and I don't have a lot of it dealing with this archive and this film center, but I have had the time to walk the streets of Victorville and put together these segments that really showcase this town's cinematic heritage and history. So let's take a look at another one.
Victorville, California. Every street has a story, and these are but just a few on Cinema, On Location. Hey guys, On Cinema at the cinema. We're here outside of the green pole is seen with Kurt Russell in Brokedown. He walks right by this pole, and things have changed here in Victorville, but it's still a great town for film production. A lot of great movies still being made here, and of course the archives as well. So this is a neat Victorville historic site where Kurt Russell walked up the street in one of the key scenes in one of my favorite popcorn classics, Brokedown. Please visit Victorville and support the archives. Back to you, Tim.
Keep saying broke down. Thank you for that, Greg. You keep saying broke down. This
With Kurt Russell. Yeah.
Breakdown was the name of the movie.
I think that was the working title, and then when it went into theaters and stuff, it was Broke Down. I'd have to check, but I think they did use both titles.
I recently saw it. It's on TV. It was Breakdown. All right. Thank you very much.
Both
Is there
great
anything
movies.
else?
Yeah, actually, I wanted to show you this. I'm kind of proud of it. This is what I've been working on the past few days. Not just my layout and the graphics of this, but also some of the movies we have programmed to play here at the Victorville Film Center. Now, it's a great, great resource for film buffs, for film heads. We've got a movie every night at 7 o'clock, and you can see our schedule and see if something piques your interest. It's $5 to get in. We've got great deals on popcorn and sodas, and different movie every night. So if you want to see 30 great movies over 30 great days, come on by the Victorville Film Center. And I hope that you'll check in and watch one of these films, Tim, because you haven't seen anything yet. But September 1st, we're kicking off that month with For Love or Money with Michael J. Fox, and I think you'd really like that one.
All right. I'll see if I can make it. I'm committed to being here, and the band's coming out for different rehearsals and stuff, so we'll see how that goes. That's it for us on Cinema. Thanks again, and I do apologize one more time to everybody out there for my behavior last week. And what else can I say? But download Empty Bottle today and make my dreams come true. And we're still working on the new album, Dakar.
And you know, you're welcome to get more involved with the actual day-to-day operations of this film center. Mark and I have a lot of good things going on here.
So I think what I want to do is figure out a way where we can start. You can maybe just stay here full time. I'll be the archive. because there's just not.
I'm still at the archive quite a bit myself because I'm bringing
What about
moving
moving
parts
the
of the
archive?
archive.
What about moving the archive here?
Well, I probably have 100 of the movies here right now already, just
Great.
because we're screening.
Because the two cots right next to each other isn't working. Hey everybody, it's Tim Heidecker back with another episode of On Cinema at the Cinema. I'm joined by my guest, my co-host Greg Turkington, and
Head of the
also
Victorville Film Center.
Also, I'm joined by Axiom, who's been sticking by my side basically 24/7. As you know, he's my rock, and since last week I've had a few relapses with the issues I was going through, and it was decided upon me and the group that I need, like a baby would, I need constant supervision and to be looked after, and Axiom's here to basically make sure that I stay out of trouble, and that means that I've got to have him, because he's my rock, I got to have you 24/7. So he's basically, we are locked like this.
You could have had him 23:57. Leave the 10 minutes to shoot this program without his involvement, since
All
he
right,
doesn't
well,
really have any
let's not stir the
knowledge
honey
of
pot there.
movies.
I think we should thank you for being here for me.
Hey, whenever you want, man. Always here for you.
So we're the whole Nortel glam scene from West Hollywood's out here supporting us. I mean, the bands come out here, and you guys are. What do you think of the Victorville scene? Huh?
It's cool. I like it. It's a good place. I mean, it's good because I can, be really focused on what we're doing, There's not so much going on, but, at least it keeps us really focused on the
We're
car.
constantly writing music, and your sister's out here now. She just
Yeah.
came into town, and we're getting to spend some time with her,
Yeah.
Juliana, and we're enjoying this desert heat. I mean, it's honestly been a pretty good way to detox. You get that dry air, that warm water coming out of the
Why
tap.
don't you guys
and-
come and check out some of the movies we've been programming here at the theater night after night? I haven't seen you
and
guys here once.
If you're in the Victorville area, come on down here. When we're done shooting here, every day there's a screening that he's got going on. And
7 p.m. every night, $5, and we've got specials on concessions as well. And if you mention this show, we've got a thing where you get a free couple of these little mini cookies that we're doing called creature cookies, in honor of the old creature from the Black Lagoon. And they're just miniature cookies, but if you mention the show, you get a couple of them for free.
yeah, and I'm already talking to you and to some people around town about making this sort of a place for us to have some shows. We're
No.
looking at, well, yeah, because you have the theater setting, sound system and everything, and all we have to do is build a little stage up front here, and we'd be able to put on shows.
No, because
so-
then the people sitting in the front seats aren't going to be able to see the screen if you have some big stage in front.
No, it'll be, there's a way to do it. I think it's a mixed-use style facility, and it could be the Victorville Film
It's
Center
too
/
big.
entertainment
It's
complex.
too big of a room for you guys. There's a lot of little bars in Victorville.
Well, we can feel that. Like, a lot of people
I
are
know.
writing. I mean, I see
People
that.
come in from, we could get a Vegas crowd, we can also get an LA crowd, and the Victorville home team.
People
So-
don't. Movie theaters are built for movie sound, Dolby, THX, and all that kind of thing. Not
Well, we'd
for
want to redo
rock
the
band.
sound. You probably want to come in here and mess around with how we can get the sound great in here.
The sound is great here already, but it's not great for rock music. It's great for movies, and that's what
Maybe
the
we can
place
do
was
that.
built
I
for.
don't know, like,
I think Mondays, Tuesdays, we'll probably do start doing a concert series. We'll do a residency.
When? What time?
It'd be 10 o'clock.
I have movies at 7 o'clock, and if the movie's 2.5 hours, it's not going to be time for people to get cleared out completely and before you guys come in. So I'd rather you don't do it on movie nights.
you can start at 6:30 for once. Like, I don't know.
No, because I've been establishing on this show, and just from flyering and talking to people around town, that you can always count on a movie at 7 o'clock. It's always going to be a different movie. It's always going to be a
but just show
popcorn
movies
classic.
that are only 2 hours long. Then you take it to 9 o'clock. It's plenty of time for people to come back in. And probably a lot of people that are coming to see the movie are going to stick around and see the car anyways. Let's talk about that later. We have to talk about movies today. First one up coming out is Ben-Hur, directed by Timur Bekmambetov. What is that?
Bekmam Bekmambetov.
Timur
Bekmambetov.
Bekmambetov.
Is that German?
It's Russian.
Russian.
Bekmambetov, yeah.
Casted by Jack Houston, Nazanin
Bunyadi.
Nazanin Bonyadi, and
Eilert Zurer.
falsely accused Jewish nobleman survives years of slavery to take vengeance on his Roman. We all know what Ben-Hur is about. It's a remake.
He doesn't know what it's about.
Well, believe me, this is some of the great movies. This is almost like the original Ben-Hur. Same story with Charles Heston. And we loved Ben-Hur then, and we love it now. I give it 5 bags of popcorn. Get the Imodium out of my car.
Yeah, I'll get it.
It's in my jacket.
Come back after the show's done taping. Yeah, Ben-Hur from 1959 was classic. I think they've improved upon it this time because in that movie, you didn't have access to some of the technology. Some of the sets were a little cornball, quite frankly. They didn't have the pacing down of a good action movie that you do now. And so I think they took the modern pacing of action, put it into a classic story like Ben-Hur, and I think you end up with a movie that may win as many Oscars as the original Ben-Hur did. And that one actually won 14 Oscars back in 1959. And I predict this will win 15.
All right.
5 bags of popcorn and a miniature chariot, because a chariot race, of course, is the classic finale to Ben-Hur.
All right. Kubo and the Kubo and the
What
two.
did you?
5 bags. We have to take a break.
No, just review the movie. It's.
Okay. All right. Wait. Chill.
Just come back when we're done. Or you guys can meet up the street somewhere.
All right. Kuba and the Two Strings, directed by Travis Knight. Rooney Mara, Matthew McConaughey, Charlize Theron. Kuba lives a quiet life in a small village until a spirit from the past reignites an old vendetta. In order to survive, he must locate a magical In order to survive, he must locate a magical suit of armor worn by his late father, a legendary samurai warrior. Show the clip. Oh, shit.
This is it's an animated, this is the summer of animation, quite frankly. We've had a lot of animated features this year, and there's more to come. This one is pretty cool. It takes place in Japan. It's got a historical angle to it, though it does have elements of fantasy. You know, I like these characters. I didn't like them as much as, say, the baby carrots from last week, if you remember when we reviewed Sausage Party. But I still think the movie has something to say, and it's very beautifully animated. And I would give it 5 bags of popcorn and 5 little packets of soy sauce, because those go good with sushi. And I don't know.
Sorry. That's very close.
Did you wash your hands?
Yeah.
So now it's time for another great On Cinema, On Location segment. But this is a special edition of On Cinema, On Location. It's not about a movie, it's about a theater. A theater that's a dream of mine that's finally come to fruition. Of course, we're talking about the Victorville Film Center, where we're filming right now. And this is kind of a behind-the-scenes segment looking at the inner workings of Victorville's newest and best movie theater.
Your Pedialyte or anything like that? Gatorade? Go ahead. This is interesting.
Victorville, California. Every street has a story, and these are but just a few on Cinema, On Location. This is where the magic happens. Magic happens. This is the Victorville Film Center. This is our projection booth. This is an original 35 millimeter film projector. It is not currently operational. When we took over this theater, we found that this thing had, the wiring had been eaten
by rats. We could have spent several $1,000s to get it repaired, or we could put that money into buying another 10,000 VHS movies to bolster the already incredible Victorville Film Archive, and purchase this. It's a VHS film projection system. If you go down there and actually look at what we're doing, you'll see that it looks as good as any 35mm film, if not better. I'm going to show you an example right now of what it looks like using one of my all-time favorites and a lot of the viewers, Heidecker versus Dracula, which incidentally you can purchase online. You hit play on this, and there it is on the big screen, Heidecker versus Dracula as it was meant to be seen. And now let's go talk to our popcorn jockey, Mark, down in the concession stand. So this is sort of the nerve center of any movie theater, the place where the popcorn popping happens. And this is Mark, who you may have seen on cinema playing W.C. Fields in the great Golden Age comedy segment.
I'm W.C. Fields.
It's nice to have you back here working with us here at the Victorville Film Center.
Thank you for hiring me.
And what's your all-time favorite movie to sit back and have a tub of popcorn and watch, whether here at the Victorville Film Center or at home on your home system?
What's the one with Sandra Bullock and it's like the mailbox?
Net. The Net. What's your favorite thing about working at the movie theater? Is it the free popcorn, the free movies?
I love working here. I mean, the drive does kill me, especially when you just need me for like a half-hour shift. Or
that was an emergency.
To fill in for Alex, who always calls in. But I wish I could get more hours, but I also like still being a part of the entertainment industry because I get to work here and it's good exposure for me.
A lot of productions have moved to Victorville in recent years. To wrap the segment up, can you share with our viewers at home your recipe for the perfect home bucket of popcorn?
Don't know. I'll be honest, I don't eat popcorn at home.
When you're watching a movie, though?
No, I'll have pretzels or... I mean, these machines people don't have at home.
But how do you get the movie taste at home?
I told you, I just follow the instructions on the machine.
All right, back to Tim.
All right, thank you for watching, and we'll see you next time at the movies.
Did you like the segment?
Yes.
Don't say it next time at the movies because that's from the Siskel and Ebert show. So.
I almost had an accident.
No, it's a bigger accident if you're using somebody else's.
Residual effects to the detox.
And what I'm saying is if you say Siskel and Ebert's, you can't use
copyright words.
Well, I mean, you can't go ahead and completely remake Gone with the Wind, word for word remake of Gone with the Wind and say you can't copyright words. If you do that, you're going to find yourself in a lot of trouble.
Hey everybody, welcome back to another episode of On Cinema at the Cinema. I'm your host, Tim Heidecker, back with more movie reviews, giving you guys a chance to figure out what to watch this coming week. And I'm joined by my co-host, Greg Turkington. Greg,
hey guys.
Good to see you again.
Welcome to our show live from Victorville.
We're back in the Victorville scene, and I'll just get this out of the way. This is, I want to apologize because I threw these guys under the bus a couple weeks ago, and you know, this is a great company that makes these devices, and I was able to connect again with Dr. Sand, and we figured out through, I mean, he's admitting that it was his fault that the dosage and the chemistry that he had combined to make this for me was all wrong, and we were able to dial it in and actually find the right amounts for me. And I just didn't want anyone to get the wrong impression that this was going to be, that this company is a problem or that this device is a problem. Gives me exactly what I need, which is light nutrition. I'm still eating, luckily. But then this also complements that and adds nutritional values such as vitamin C and vitamin D and vitamin A. And also it has just a slight psychoactive element that keeps me creative because we're still working on the record. Axiom had to go back to West Hollywood, so I am without his rock, but luckily his sister Juliana here is staying out here with me. And she's keeping me warm at night, if you know what I mean. At the archive. So don't everyone worry about me. This is a much better place for me to be. There's no synthetic cocaine in here or any of that kind of crap. It's all natural, actually. I got that confirmed from Dr. Sand. But he does want me on it pretty much intermittently through the day, which is...
But I've been getting complaints from the landlord at the archive that I need to talk to you about, because I do not want to lose that space because of how you've been carrying on there at night.
Well, like I told you before, we're being creative. And the lyric writing process is part of that is a self-expression. And
it's not meant to be a party pad or something. It's a film archive that's in a storage facility, and so it's not zoned, for a party atmosphere.
Okay.
No, you're welcome to stay there as long as you want, and I invited you. But the thing is you
don't want me to be self-expressive and working on projects that's going to move me forward as an artist. I mean, hold on, I'm not finished with you. And you don't. And then you don't want me to use this space, which I'm paying for through the Tom Cruise Memorial Junior Fund that I set up.
You can use it during the day, but I don't want you putting on Dakar concerts during when I have a schedule for screenings.
What you expect me to be doing.
Well, I'll show you the complaint that I got from the landlord, and it's very specific, but I just don't want to lose the place.
You're not going to lose the place. You're being very uptight about this. This landlord's he doesn't know what he's doing. Trust me. I'll talk to him. You don't know what you're talking about.
Well, I don't know if that's going to help.
Stop being such a baby about this. The landlord is just being overreactive, and he has got you under his thumb, and you're being manipulated, and that's embarrassing.
Well, he's not manipulating because he's been very generous all along. He's looked the other way.
This is the same asshole who's revoked your bathroom privileges for 2 months. You had to go down to the gas station to go to the bathroom. I don't like this guy. I think you're getting taken advantage of.
Well, that wasn't because of me. That was because somebody else who also was using one of the units, but did not because they were running an archive out of it and were working late. They were strictly just living there because it was cheap rent, And the bathroom, having them change the locks on that had nothing to do with anything I was doing. Right. And you knew that, so I don't know why you bring it up on the show.
We'll try to keep it down.
That's all I'm asking.
Okay.
You're welcome to stay. I'm not, I just be smart.
The manager's calling, complaining because we got, when you're at this movie theater, we got Juliana screaming like a little kitty cat. Don't tell Axiom, by the way. He doesn't know about him being her.
Well, it's more Ayaka that I would tell.
Hands of Stone. Kind of quirky movie. Jonathan Jakubowicz. Starring Robert De Niro, Ellen Barkin, Ana de Armas, Edgar Ramirez, the legendary Robert De Niro and his equally legendary trainer Ray Arkell change each other's life. Roberto Duran is the name, not Robert De Niro. And is equally...
Well, the actor Robert De Niro's in the movie, but the character's Roberto Duran. The character's not Robert De Niro.
All right. This one, Hands of Stone, starring Robert De Niro, one of my favorite actors of all time. I think, has he done a movie you didn't like?
Nope.
I give it 5 bags of popcorn. One of my favorite movies this year is Hands of Stone with Robert De Niro. I can do an impression of him if you want.
No. Hands of Stone is interesting. It's not being called Raging Bull 2, but essentially it is, but with a twist, is that now Robert De Niro is the trainer, and he's training a young fighter, whereas in Raging Bull he was the fighter. So shades of Rocky Balboa. In those movies, Rocky Balboa has become the trainer rather than the fighter. And so now Raging Bull has gone that same route. But it's a little more interesting than Rocky, because with Rocky you have so many Rocky movies. One comes out every year. With Raging Bull, we had one come out in 1980 and we've heard nothing since. So it's great to get back and catch up with these characters. It's an exciting film on its own. You don't have to have seen Raging Bull. It will definitely help. I do foresee a Best Actor award for Robert De Niro, and I think that would be pretty cool for him to win it for this, as he did for Raging Bull back in 1980.
Are you talking to me? Are you talking to me?
That's Taxi Driver.
Well, I'm doing my Robert De Niro for you.
Yeah, but that's a different character.
All right.
5 bags of popcorn, and I would have to say miniature boxing glove or something. Maybe 2. Set of 2 miniature boxing gloves as a souvenir of 2 great movies, Raging Bull and Hands of Stone.
All right. Mechanic, Resurrection.
What was your rating?
5 bags. Mechanic, starring Mechanic, Resurrection. Starring, directed by Dennis Gansel. Cast starring my favorite actor, Jason Statham, Jessica Alba, and Tommy Lee Jones, my favorite actor too. Arthur Bishop thought he put his murderous past behind him when his most formidable foe kidnaps the love of his life. Now he's forced to travel the globe to complete 3 impossible assassinations, a little bit like Decker.
Well, Decker's not assassinating people. He's preventing assassinations from happening.
I would think he would assassinate if it was, for example, if we had, like Obama was in the presidency. Decker would come out and put a bullet through his skull.
Again, I don't want you talking like that on the show, because the next thing you know, they're going to shut the show down. There's nothing to do with this movie.
That's fictional.
Nothing to do
I'm
with
talking
Decker.
fictional. Decker's a fictional story. If you had a president like Obama, I'm not saying it is Obama, somebody like him. Somebody exactly
you can't
like
talk like that on TV or anywhere, really.
I'm not saying I'm going to kill the president.
Well,
but
stop saying it and let's just talk about the movie.
You're talking about assassinations. I'm giving you an example.
No, the movie is about assassination.
Right.
It's about a character who's kind of an unsavory, kind of the flip side of the James Bond coin. He's an expert at what he does, but what he does is something that's not appealing in the way that saving the country is appealing when Decker does it. And so he's kind of an anti-hero.
$5 bags. Whoa, that hit me hard.
5 bags of popcorn.
Yay. Hold on.
You need to do this stuff before you come into film because it's just really disruptive.
It's gonna fucking come out of my nose. Wow. Sorry about that, folks. Okay, I gotta put this away for a minute.
Yeah. I thought you threw it away.
Oh crap.
I also think Tommy Lee Jones as Max Adams is an unforgettable character that...
Oh, wow. You have any segments to go to? We could cut to it.
Yeah, we've got some on cinema on locations in the can.
Oh, shit.
Can you put one of those on until he gets done with his little...
Victorville, California. Every street has a story, and these are but just a few on Cinema, on location. Hey guys, on Cinema, at the Cinema, on location, at the home, the ranch house where Citizen Kane was written back in 1941. This ranch, the Kemper Campbell Ranch, was the writing location of the motion picture script for Citizen Kane, and it's right here in Victorville, California, current home of the world's #1 film archive, the Victorville Film Archives, as well as the shooting location for Season 8 of On Cinema, at the Cinema. Back in 1941, this is where Orson Welles wrote Citizen Kane. Back to you, Tim.
Do you like comedies? We've got some. Do you like dramas? We've got some. Do you like action? We've got it.
It's time to have fun at the movies again.
Lights, camera, action. It's time for expert opinions.
1 bag, 2 bag, 5 bags of popcorn.
Your first stop before heading out to the movies is Tim Heidecker's On Cinema at the Cinema.
Hey guys, this is Greg Turkington from On Cinema at the Cinema, which is the show that we're watching right now. I'm a little stunned this week. Always happy to guest host in Tim's absence, but in these circumstances, it's anything but happy. I don't know if you saw the news footage over the weekend, but there was a fire at the Victorville Film Archive. You can see this is a serious fire. It was caused by Tim falling asleep in his cot, smoking. The cigarette apparently fell down onto the blanket, and that started the fire. And he's in the hospital still. He will survive, but he's got serious 3rd and 1st degree burns that are going to take a lot of work before he's going to be able to come back and review movies or do anything. And so I've got Mark here. That Mark's been a good friend to this show for many, many years, and of course plays Abdul on Heidecker, and has been helping me run this very important resource, the Victorville Film Center, which we've been running here in Victorville for the past few weeks, screening popcorn classics. And the archive is destroyed. We had about 1,000 films, maybe 1,100 that we had brought up here to the theater in terms of using them for programming for our nightly screenings, and so those are okay. But that is just a fraction of what the Victorville Film Archive used to be. We will rebuild. And if anybody out there has access to videotapes that wants to donate them, at this point, I don't think insurance is going to cover this. This was Tim's fault, so at this point I can't buy the tapes from you even at pennies on the dollar. These would have to be donations. The screenings will continue. I'm proud to say that the night after this fire, we still showed our movie for the people in the town that count on us, and nothing is going to stop us from doing that. All my clothes were burned on my Ant-Man memorabilia, burned. The master tapes to some of the Heidecker versus Dracula stuff is burned. A lot of the lost footage that you've never seen was burned. The props, Dracula's cape. I had a postcard from Giant that James Dean had signed to me. That was also burned. Very little survived. The tapes that did survive are unplayable. Any tape that did survive, it was sprayed with water and foam. Mark here is going to be taking over a lot of responsibilities in the coming weeks. He's done a great job with the concession. I'm going to have you help me with a lot of other things, especially if Tim chooses to rehab here at the theater. I've been trying to get in touch with Ayaka. I can't get hold of her. I don't even know if she wants to hear from Tim. One of the most incredible film archives in North American history is reduced to cinder, and the Dakar master tapes are fine. So there is no justice in the world. Those are still at Axiom's studios, so hopefully we'll have updates on Tim's condition. It's not good. You're not going to be seeing him anymore this season. I don't know how Decker's going to continue. He's not going to look like the Heidecker that we know. He's going to need a lot of facial reconstruction. I visited Tim at Victorville General Hospital, and he's unrecognizable. His head is very swollen. His face is very mangled. Some of his hair literally melted to his head. Have you visited? Have you seen Tim or no?
There was a episode of MASH once where a guy was burned up, and they brought him back, totally fine.
That's TV though. That's not real life. That's not movies. There's the MASH movie, which Sally Kellerman, who also starred in Decker, actually was in the MASH movie.
Yeah.
She had some interesting stories about working with Robert Altman, and because he was on the TV show. So, the movie's very different. Elliot Gould. Anyway, we do have a couple movies to review. Solace, directed by Alfonso Cuarón, Anthony Hopkins, Colin Farrell, Jeffrey Dean Morgan, a psychic, works with the FBI in order to hunt down a serial killer. It's a good movie. It's, again, one of these movies post-Decker. You feel like they've taken a little bit from what we're doing. This is an FBI agent. Decker, of course, is CIA. This FBI agent tries to stop the serial killer. Decker, of course, would have fallen asleep and burned down FBI headquarters and destroyed all their records. But it's fantastic. I was a little distracted watching it, but I would give it 5 bags of popcorn and an entire fire truck full of flame retardant foam. Did you see it, Mark?
I saw the last half of it, and I loved it.
Why did you miss the first half of it? 'Cause I got you that ticket.
You did, but when I got here, Aaron didn't show up for his shift, so I had to cover the last half of his shift, which means I missed the first half of the movie.
How many bags of popcorn would you give it?
5.
The Light Between Oceans, directed by Derek Jean-France, starring Michael Fassbender, Alicia Vikander, Rachel Weisz. A lighthouse keeper and his wife living off the coast of Western Australia raise a baby they rescue from an adrift rowboat. Well, it reminds me of Tim and Ayaka's baby, but it wasn't adrift on a rowboat. It was adrift on bad medicine and anti-vaccination ideas that Dr. San had, and no one was rescuing that baby.
It's bad news.
5 bags of popcorn and 5 tickets to the rehab clinic. Did you see it? All right, now we're going to see a segment called On Cinema on Location, filmed right here in Victorville. This is a very popular segment where we look at some of the cinematic history that's taken place here in our town. Roll the tape.
Victorville, California. Every street has a story, and these are but just a few on Cinema on Location.
Hey guys, I'm here in Victorville, California, once again, home of the Victorville Film Archive, and we're outside the Rock Formation Mountain, seen in the 1953 all-time classic sci-fi epic, It Came from Outer Space. If you've seen the movie, you know that the flying saucers fly over these rocks, causing a landslide which threatens the fictional town depicted in the movie. Visit Victorville, California and the Victorville Film Archives. Support your local film archive.
Okay, that was our latest segment, and now we're going to do a couple popcorn classics if we have time. These are movies we're showing here this week. If anyone can get down here and wants to see these, mention this episode. We'll give you a free small popcorn with admission. Remember that. This is Holiday Heart. We're going to be screening this on Friday night, 7 o'clock. It's based on a play called The Holiday Heart, and they filmed it, essentially a filmed play with a little bit more Hollywood razzmatazz. So they didn't actually film it on a stage, but it was filmed in a studio, and it's quite good. And then Saturday, oh, be careful. Saturday we've got The Wood, again 7 o'clock, $5. Tay Diggs and Omar Epps, Richard T. Jones, Sean Nelson. Unforgettable tale of laughs. And come on out, and I'll keep you posted as far as Tim's health. I'll keep you updated. It's not looking good. I don't know how we're going to be able to continue this show or this theater.
I could step in each week.
And do what? All right, well, thanks, Mark. Maybe next time you do some WC Fields. It's just not really the time or the place for that this time, so I'm sorry. We couldn't get to Golden Age comedies. It's funny, all this time I've been asking Tim, let's put the Golden Age comedies back. Mark's been very loyal to the show, and that's his segment, and Tim said no, and then here is my chance where I could put anything I want in the show, and I just don't feel like Golden Age comedies would be appropriate. So
it's a paradox.
See you guys next week. Well, you gotta get the popcorn fired up. I'm sorry.
Yep.
Thanks.
Now let's get some popcorn and start talking movies. Tim Heidecker's On Cinema at the Cinema.
I'm back. Welcome to On Cinema at the Cinema. I'm your host, Tim Heidecker, and thanks for bearing with me last week. Sorry, it was an accident on the, as Greg told you, and I'm joined by my. Thank you for filling in for me last week, Greg Turkington, my co-host, Greg Turkington.
Hey guys.
I feel like I've got 9 lives, like that movie with.
Christopher Walken.
No.
Yeah, we reviewed it.
Kevin Spacey.
And Christopher Walken.
Kevin Spacey was the cat and the star.
Well.
Anyways.
They're co-billed.
This looks a lot worse than it is. It was basically second-degree burns over the course of my entire face, and they'll be doing some small plastic surgery to get fixed up. And my hand is charred back, basically the bone, and we'll be working on recovery. I have to keep doing this show for financial reasons. I cannot stop coming to work here because I will lose my health insurance, so I'm required to keep this happening. I want to apologize to you on behalf of Victorville's Film Archives. Very quickly, the story was my vape pen, which was, I didn't realize, a piece of junk from China, had overheated and caught fire on one of the cardboard boxes holding the archives.
You weren't using it properly.
Well,
you were supposed to go to sleep.
Manufactured
vaping.
poorly and set the box on fire, and the box lit the whole shelving unit up, and then one of the big boxes, which had Blues Brothers 2000 in it. I guess
the whole
10
archive
copies
is gone, so you don't need to go through the titles. It just makes me feel worse.
I'm trying to explain which movies.
Oh, I know which movies.
So 7
all of them.
or 8 flaming VHS copies landed on my face as I was sleeping, which woke me up. And luckily I was able to escape the inferno and rushed out into the middle of the street where I was rescued and taken to the hospital. And I'm back on the road to recovery, and thank you for all your well wishes. But we're not here to talk about me, we're here to talk about the movies. Quickly, because I have to go and get another shot of morphine. Sully, starring Clint Eastwood, and with Tom Hanks and Lauren Linney the story of Chester Sullenberger. You remember Sullenberger? He crashed his plane into the Hudson River. And he didn't crash it. He landed the plane. How are they going to make a whole movie of this? It doesn't make sense.
Well, they did.
Herb became a hero after gliding his plane along the water in the Hudson River, saving all 155 passengers. This is a movie directed by Clint Eastwood, the original.
Hey, Tim.
Joe.
Hey. Joe Estevez here. I don't know if you can see me.
What's going on?
Tim, we got Ayaka and her dad, Mark, John, Greg, of course, and myself. We all wanted to come down here today, Tim, because we've been recognizing that you've been having a lot of trouble with your life, and we just wanted to show up here and support you and tell you how much we love you, how much we like you, and that we care about you, and frankly, that we're a little bit worried about you, Tim.
Okay.
And if all of us just want to say a little something, and maybe we can start with your band member here.
Okay. Hey, man. Great to see you. I mean, I was really scared when my sister called me. She was crying. I was really scared. I talked to the guys. I just wanted to tell you that it doesn't matter how long is it gonna take for you to heal, but the car is waiting for you.
That's what I wanted to hear.
Yeah,
We're not going anywhere.
No.
And your strength and the group's strength is keeping my spirits high, and I can't wait to get back in the studio.
Yeah, well, the thing is,
who's going to do the bass stuff, because this hand's going to be.
You could just put the band on hiatus.
No, I can't. No one can take it. Like it doesn't matter how much.
Get a new bass player. I'll just say.
Tim.
Hold on, Joe. I can do foot pedals with bass.
Don't think about it. Just get better, please.
Tim, if you keep on doing what you're doing, there's not only going to be no band, but there's going to be no Tim. Ayaka, you want to tell Tim how you're feeling and?
Hi, how are you?
Not good.
I'm sorry to hear that.
Oh, I'm sorry that you had to go away to Japan to leave me at my.
Tell him about the baby and what you're going to do.
You took care of that?
Yeah, we'll keep the child.
I don't think that's a good idea.
Bakayaro.
My dad is very concerned, but
I'm concerned that you traipse off to Japan every time there's a bump in the road.
we hope you feel better.
Next time, save about $1,000 in plane fare and send a card.
Mark, you want to say a few words?
I don't have any interest in hearing what he has to say.
Good. Okay.
Well, John? You were working
Tim.
with-
Who?
John, you worked with him quite a bit on...
General Cotter on Decker.
Oh.
Yeah.
Tim, I hate to see you this way, and I don't know, you haven't known you as long as these other guys, but I want to get to know you better and get it together. You're going to be fine, man.
That's something you want to tell Tim? You've known him the longest.
I'm not going to say my theories in front of Ayaka and her father, but I do think that getting Dr. San and Dakar out of your life and focusing on this theater is your chance to really make something of yourself. And you know, the thing that you've done that people love the most are these movie reviews and Decker, and the thing that people don't like is Dakar and Dr. San. And so I think it would be a good thing for you when you heal up to focus on movies, and let's get this theater running at full capacity, up the schedule to 2 screenings a day. We could do like a 5 o'clock and a 7 o'clock, or a 7 o'clock and a 9 o'clock, and really make some money here and have some fun.
Greg,
and really make the Victorville Film Center a destination for people from out of town as well as for locals.
Well, you know, Tim, you got to understand that I know this is not easy on you, but it's not easy for any of us to come down here and to tell you what we're telling you, but we just want you to get better and get back in the game and be the old Tim that you were before.
Thanks.
Well, not the old Tim that he has been.
Well, you know.
Thanks, Joe. Thanks, Axiom. And Ayaka's dad, Mark, who didn't say a word that made any sense, and
John, you got John.
John. Thanks for coming down and supporting me. You guys are my closest friends and family. You're all I got. And I'm going to make life better for everybody. I'm going to turn it up a notch.
So
shut up. Yes, you've been talking all day.
All right.
I'm turning another leaf, turn another corner, and the band is going to be better. We don't need bass. We'll get computer-based music. And When the Bow Breaks is Morris Chestnut, Glenn Mushroom, and Teddy Roosevelt.
Well,
Hold on now, Joe.
I wrote a little letter here. I think that kind of sums up about how all of us feeling. What we'd like for you, dear Tim. Keeping company with John Barleycorn for you, I believe, has become quite a problem. You are a mess, and so is your life.
Okay, thank you.
Although a lot of people prefer your company.
You know what? This isn't your show. This is my show.
Yeah, but this is important that you hear this, Tim.
It is not important. Did you write it?
I wrote this because from the heart, Tim, because I
write your lines, all right? And if I'm going to stop writing them if you keep reading that crap.
Well, this isn't a TV show taping, Tim. This is an intervention that Joe has put together, and I think you should listen to what he has to say.
Okay.
Tim, we care about you. What you're doing to yourself is...
Hold on, Joe, shut the fuck up. You all can take a walk. I'm going to be fine. I got some perkies, keep taking the pain away, and then when I'm going to get plastic surgery... Shut up! I'm going to make a commitment right now. I'm going to kick it up a notch. We are about to go Dakar 2.0, man. We got a whole new angle. Now, everybody get the fuck out! I'm going to tell you what's going to happen now.
Ayaka's father paid for half that theater.
Mark, where the fuck are you going?
Come on.
Yeah, where you going?
Tim, we're here because we care about you, and we want to see a change in you, and to do right and to do the proper thing.
All right, thank you very much for your concern. Now get the fuck out.
So can I get an answer from you that you're going to change?
Get off my property, you piece of shit, or I'll never work with you again. You too. Get out of here.
That's all right.
You get out.
Hey.
You get out too, old man.
Come on, John. It's just going to get worse.
Get out.
All right, okay.
Get the fuck out.
We love you, Tim.
Oh,
no, we don't.
What?
You gotta calm down.
Come on.
Calm down.
You all need me, or there's shit without me. There's nothing without me. What we do is we don't forget the bass. I throw the bass away. I don't need it anymore. I can program bass licks on a computer. We kick it up a notch. Let's go to CVS. I need to get some perkies.
Let's get some.
I'm gonna burn this fucking theater down. Hey everybody, welcome to another episode of On Cinema at the Cinema. I'm your host, Tim Heidecker, and I'm sitting here happy to be alive, on the mend, getting better and stronger every single day thanks to you guys, your love and support. I do appreciate it so much. And it's been hard, it's been a struggle, but I just gotta say thank God for the perks. I'm not talking about perks like vacation and all this and medical benefits of which I don't have enough to cover what's been going on with me. But most important is the Percocets that keep the pain away, keeps the pain at bay. And and my guest is Greg Turkington from the Victorville Film Center, which is
where we
are right now.
We're at the Victorville Film Center right now. We're still screening 7 nights a week, 7 p.m. We've got a full schedule of popcorn classics.
You better
come
hope,
on down to Victorville.
You better hope people show up, because I was taking a look at the receipts from the last couple of weeks, and it's been not very impressive.
Well, I haven't been able to promote it because I've been too busy dealing with the mess that you created when you burned down the entire Victorville Film Archive.
I have to say that it's not part of the agreement. The agreement was that we were going to hit certain benchmarks.
The agreement wasn't that you were going to get wasted on weirdo drugs and burn down the archive. The agreement was that we were going to review movies, run a world-class movie theater, and not waste all this time on Dakar and on drug addiction and all this other crap.
I am a man of peace, and I am trying to let you know of one thing. That if you can't hit the financial benchmarks that we set when I put you in charge as director and curator of the Victorville Film Center, I'm gonna have to go out and find somebody else that can handle it.
You could fill a football stadium with people and charge $5 a piece, and it wouldn't be enough to cover all the damage you did to the Victorville storage facility where our archives were, which is now completely destroyed. It's gonna have to be raised. That's done. Do you know how many people lost their archives of things and their baby photos and mementos and all these other things? There was a guy who had a '63 Stingray, which is quite an expensive car that was stored at that storage facility. That car is gone.
Well,
That's
accidents
just a
happen.
pile of dust.
Accidents
yeah,
happen.
well, that's
but
a $90,000 car that someone's going to have to pay for. So don't tell me that because I did a screening.
You
of
did a screening.
movie
Let me give
and-
you an example. You did a screening of Summer School starring Mark Harmon on VHS that barely reached the screen. The projection quality was so low. On a Friday night at 7 o'clock, who
You
in their
weren't
right
there.
mind was going to
You
go out
weren't
and see?
there.
Had 4 people here that night. And
We
people
had-
were complaining about
we had
popcorn being
14
old.
people because we couldn't promote it properly.
Well, it's no way to run a movie theater. I don't know why you can't show the first run
This is
movies.
a soft launch. Wait until we get everything completely ready to go, and we're getting the word out around Victorville. Now, I
Well-
was going door to door and passing these things out,
Why
letting
would-
people know, but I've had to go to the hospital all the time and watch them peel all this dead skin off of you layer by layer.
Let me ask you a
because you
question.
couldn't stay away from Dr. Sand's idiot drugs.
Who in their
Again.
right mind would program Fletch 2 on a Saturday night? You had 1 person come in.
Again, it's a soft launch. We're still testing the
Well, let's
equipment.
move
We don't
on.
have any radio ads. We don't have any TV ads. We were going to try to do something like that. But now, whatever little money you had left in the Tom Cruise Heidecker Memorial Fund is probably going to be paying for that guy's burnt Stingray and everybody else's stuff that got wrecked.
My only
in that
advice-
fire, that's all your fault. And I'm surprised you're
My-
going to get sued by your medical insurer if you have one, because this accident was not an accident at all. It was entirely your fault. And it put my archive in severe jeopardy. Thank God that fans have been sending me boxes of videotapes. Each day I'm getting another box, and we're rebuilding the archive.
Well, you're very upset, but let me just remind, as a friend, I'm giving you advice to show movies people might want to come out and see.
Well, I wouldn't
Not
take
Fletch
advice
2.
from you because I don't think people want to see documentaries on Hillary Clinton.
Okay. Thank you very much. That's the newest updates on the Victorville Film Center from Greg Turkington. We've got 2 movies today. One is Snowden, directed by Oliver Stone, starring Joseph Gordon-Levitt, Shailene Woodley, Nicolas Cage, one of the greats, Scott Eastwood. That's Clint Eastwood. The story of NSA employee Edward Snowden leaking thousands of classified documents to the press. This guy, Snowden, is a traitor and should be hung up and should be hung out in front of Congress. And
Just review movies, don't review
no,
current
well,
events.
I am
Is
trying
it a
to-
good movie or not? Who cares what the
This
truth
is
of the
t-
story is? We're curious if it's a good movie.
It's typical Oliver
You don't
Stone
review the
liberal
JFK
bent.
assassination in terms of whether it was a good assassination. You review the movie in terms of whether it was a good movie, which it was.
It wasn't. This paints Snowden as a hero when he was a traitor. He betrayed us. He's as worse than Osama bin Laden, in my opinion. And he's brought down the greatest country on earth, America. He's brought them to our knees. And he should be tried for treason, and he is responsible for the end of our country. And the Russians have come and have invaded us already, and Chinese are right behind them. And you can say goodbye to American pie. No bags of popcorn, and shame on you, America, for letting Oliver Stone live.
Well, this movie is kind of interesting because if you watched the last season of Decker, you saw an episode that mentioned Nicolas Cage, National Treasure. And also when we got into the treasure chest, we found a file and mentioned how much Oliver Stone would like to see this file. To see those 2 worlds come together in a motion picture shows once again the influence that Decker has had on modern cinema. And for that, I tip my hat and award it 5 bags of popcorn. And I'm going to throw in a little toy door because Oliver Stone also directed The Doors.
Next up is one of my favorite movies of the year, Bridget Jones' Baby, directed by Sharon Maguire, starring Renee Zellweger, Emma Thompson, Patrick Dempsey, and Colin Firth. The continuing adventures of British publishing executive Bridget Jones as she enters her 40s. This is a chick flick, there's no question about it. It's for the ladies. Me and Juliana checked it out a couple nights ago. We had a good time with it. We kind of used it as a good excuse to fool around in the movie theater. We got that seat
Could she
in the
even
back.
touch your face without you screaming?
She didn't need to touch my face. Let's leave it at that. What'd you think? I give it 5 bags of popcorn and 2 cups of soda.
I think that the Bridget Jones movies are fantastic. I don't see them as just for women. I personally love those movies, and when I go see them, there's always plenty of men there who also enjoy those movies. I think Bridget Jones could be sort of a James Bond for women in that this is a franchise that could go for many, many years. And when Renee Zellweger can't do it anymore, there'll be another actress to step into her shoes and continue the wondrous adventures of Bridget Jones. And so I give it 5 bags of popcorn and a little baby rabbit.
Oh, I want to read this. This is neat. I got a note from Kenny Chesney, music artist Kenny Chesney. And he just wrote this to me. He said, Dear Tim, I understand you're in a terrible accident, and we just want to let you know that we're thinking of you, and we're able to hear your first track from Empty Bottle, and we are loving it and would love to cover it sometime. And he goes on, but says he hopes we feel better, and that's pretty cool from Kenny Chesney. And
how would he have heard of you?
That's how do you hear about anybody? And there's also a note here from the guys in Rascal Flatts. I guess they're on tour together. So the Rascal Flatts guys say, really love Trigger everything and love Dakar, and can't wait to see what you guys do up in the future. And you're welcome to play with us anytime, and hope you get better real quick. We need you out there in the music community. That's all I need to hear. It gets me back on my feet. That's from Kenny Chesney and Rascal Flatts. So those guys, anytime they want to come to Victorville, they get free popcorn on the house.
Not if I'm working.
See you next time. So I'm telling you, if you don't bring those ticket sales up significantly, I'm making major changes. I'm going to rip all these seats out and we're going to turn this into a dance club.
You're in danger of being sued for probably $1 million over damage to that storage unit. I don't think you should be worried about $5 movie tickets. You should just let me run this place the way I've been running it.
You're running it into the ground. There's no place you're running it. Whatever, I gotta take some meds. Oh! Hey everybody, welcome to the season finale of season 8 of Cinema on Cinema, season 8 Oscar at the cinema here in Victorville Film Center. My name is Tim Heidecker, and I am the host, and I'm with my guest Greg Turkington.
Hey guys, sorry the season hasn't gone as planned.
I think it's gone well, all things considered. I want to apologize. If you were in this room, you'd probably smell it, but I've been wearing this shirt now for 4 weeks. It fused into my skin because of the fire, and some of the fabric and materials made in China have become part of my skin. So I'm wearing this shirt
Well, the
now.
fire itself was made in Victorville by you, so you can't blame China.
But anyways, this is me now.
Well, this is me now because every stitch of clothing that I had was burnt to a crisp when my archives were burned. So
The Magnificent Seven, directed by Anton Fuqua, starring Chris Pratt, Haley Bennett, Denzel Washington, Matt Boner, Ethan Hawke. 7 gunmen in the Old West, it's a Western, gradually come together to help a poor village against savage thieves. This is another remake of the Magnificent Seven, and even the Magnificent Seven was a remake of another movie called The Magnificent Seven. And this is starring Chris Pratt and Matt Boner, and has a good chance at being my favorite movie of all time right now. I saw it the other day, and it was a Western with guns and Indians, and there was all kinds of stuff going on. I thought it was okay. For me, I wouldn't recommend this for everybody, but I say 5 bags of popcorn.
a lot of
Also, we have storks.
Hold on, I was going to review the movie because people do want some critical thinking applied to these movies, and I don't even know if you really saw The Magnificent Seven.
I saw it. I want to see storks.
What theater did you see it in?
Can we talk about storks? I don't want to.
5 bags for the Magnificent Seven.
Nick is-
it is very good. He's right. It's very good. It's right for reasons that he didn't bring up because he didn't see it, but I did, and it is good.
Storks, directed by Nicholas Stoller. Doug Sweetland, cast with Andy Samberg, Keegan Michael Key, and Keegan, Michael Key, Keegan, Kelsey Grammer, one of my favorites, and Jordan Peele. Storks have moved on from delivering babies to packages, but What? But when an order for a baby appears, the best delivery stork must scramble to fix the error by delivering the baby.
Sounds like the Tim Heidecker story.
Well, I thought this was a cute movie. This was for kids of all ages, Storks. And it was fun to hear Kelsey Grammer's voice. It was almost like you're watching the Cheers or Frasier on... I used to watch Frasier.
What's up with Ayaka and the baby?
Excuse me?
What is up with your wife, Ayaka, and
I haven't
the
seen her
baby?
since that stupid waste of time intervention you had for me a couple weeks ago.
That was Joe's idea.
Okay, well, it was a big miss. That was 3 strikes, you're out. Goodbye, thanks for coming, but you are not up to my speed. And it was worst episode of the show in our show history. Nobody wants to see people being treated like babies. We are self-reliant. I am legend. Storks, 5 bags. What did you think of Storks?
I liked it. It's funny. I'll give it that. It is funny. I'm gonna give it 5 bags of popcorn and 5 stork eggs.
We are excited to debut the new track from a group that we're working with right now called DKR. This is a new electronic music collaboration between myself and Axiom. And I want to debut this track for On Cinema. It's pretty exciting. I know people are wondering, how am I going to bounce back? How am I going to rise from the ashes, literally, musically, without the ability to play bass?
Nobody's wondering that.
Yes, they are. I've been getting, you should have heard Kenny Chesney going on. He actually called me.
Kenny Chesney doesn't want to listen to that.
And I got wonderful messages of support. So we are pleased to premiere the world premiere.
You're getting legal papers served on you constantly at this theater from the people who lost all their possessions in that fire. You're not getting messages of support from Kenny Chesney.
Ladies and gentlemen, we are very excited to make the world premiere of the premiere song, that new collaboration between myself and Axiom. It's a new group of electronic dance music called DKR, and this is our brand new single. And I want you, we don't have a title for it yet. We're just putting it out there, hoping it catches fire, which no pun intended. But we want to just get this music exposed, and let's play the new track from DKR. This is DKR's new music revolution, EDM style. Check it out, and we'll see you guys next season.
No, we're supposed to show the last episode of On Cinema at the cinema on location, and then you can play that music over
let's
the
play
end,
the music.
over the end
Can
credits.
we play the music first? Let's play the music now.
Play it last because people want movie information.
Hold on, quiet.
Dreamed of everything left in my mind. Checking out, I'm on the outside. I'm not going to spend no time. I'm like an empty bottle, empty bottle, empty bottle, empty bottle, empty bottle, empty bottle. I'm like an empty bottle. I'm like an empty bottle.
And that's gonna do this side chain compression thing. Drops, and then the drums come back in hard. Empty, 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 empty bottle, empty bottle, empty bottle, empty bottle, empty, 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 empty bottle, empty
Well,
bottle.
that's not going to be a hit.
You can check out that whole song on the Dakar website, which is going to also be, we're going to put together a DKR site as well. So it's a sampling of the new DKR song, which is going to rave up, you're going to catch fire all over the clubs. And starting next week, if you're in Victorville, come on down to the Victorville Film Center, because Saturday nights at 9 o'clock, we start things right by having, we're going to have music.
He's wrong.
And we're going to have some stand-up comedy, and we're going to actually have sketch comedy and
movies.
EDM music all night long till midnight. And we're going to have an open bar.
It's movies on Friday and Saturday night, 7 o'clock.
And now let's check out this
It's not.
on cinema.
There's no concert on Saturday night here.
Yes, there will be starting next week.
No, there
now
won't.
There's on cinema at location from you.
Hollywood, California. Every street has a story, and these are but just a few on Cinema, on Location.
Hey guys, and welcome to Victorville. Behind me are some of Victorville's beautiful mountains, where It Came From Outer Space was filmed, but we have a special report today on this episode of On Cinema at the Cinema on Location. It is the writing location, not the filming location, but behind me is the ranch at which was written the all-time classic Citizen Kane. Yes, Virginia, there is a Citizen Kane, and he was born right here in Victorville. You can see beneath me the actual ranch where Citizen Kane was written. This is history. Now Victorville is home of the Victorville Film Archives, of which we have several copies of Citizen Kane. Back to you, Tim.
See you next season. So, you know how Heidecker still going through it? So I'm gonna have 2 kids.
She's having twins?
No, Juliana's
What's wrong with you?